It is Monday night, and we are live once again for In the Zone Racing's coverage of the Elite Performance Industries Late Model Shootout Series. Tonight is round number 7, the start of the second half of the season. We bring you live coverage of the Islander in 125 from the Lucas Oil Speedway, the Indianapolis Raceway Park. I am Jeff By Jr., joined by Bill Tomer in the broadcast booth. And Bill, we got a nice field of cars, 29 of iRacing's best, and some new faces. Our County Road Custom Late Model Challenger Series call-ups making their debut tonight.
Yeah, a bunch of County Road Custom Late Model Challenger guys going to make their move up to the Elite Performance Industries Late Model Shootout Series. And Jeff, we're looking at them on the board right now. The fastest of that group is Josh Parrish, P11 in practice. So they're up with the big boys now. It's going to be a lot tougher than they find it down there at in the Tuesday night series.
Well, no surprises at the top of the board in practice. Alex McCollum, 21.585, fastest driver in practice. He's the only driver in the 21.5s. Thomas Axum sitting second right now. Grayson Ward third on the board, 21.649 for Grayson. Peyton Howell sitting in the fourth spot in practice. Cole Cabre, your points leader, sitting fifth fastest. And Bill, I look back to see the last time this series ran at Lucas Oil Raceway Park, and Alex McCollum was the winner. So you got to think he's quickest in practice. He's got experience here. He's won here before. That he might be the man to beat tonight.
And the invert is small tonight, Jeff. They got lucky once again, only a 5 invert. Probably not lucky for us, but a small invert tonight will help those guys, those quick qualifiers. And Alex McCollum is usually one of those as they go for the International Short Track Racing Association Quick Time Award. But those guys aren't going to have a big invert. They want to pass a lot of cars to get back to the front.
As you said, these guys are going onto the racetrack right now for qualifying for the International Short Track Association Quick Time Award. That's $7 going to Fast Time tonight, plus 5 bonus points. And those bonus points are going to be really, really important because right now the field is very tight, and the door might have opened a little bit for some of those drivers that are sitting just outside the playoffs. Daniel Pope sitting 6th in points tonight, not with us tonight. Did not make it home in time to make tonight's race. So it could be a big points opportunity for somebody sitting outside that top 8.
Yeah, going to be a huge opportunity for someone that wants to try to sneak their way into the playoffs or just make their way into the playoffs. Daniel Pope not able to be here. That's going to be his drop week. And that'll make it tough on the number 31 car. But we're watching Chris Roma out on the racetrack. Corey Bigley's going to go P1. He's the first car to turn in a lap time in the 28 car.
AJ Rogers is going to bump to the top of the field, 21.828, a little bit slower than his practice speeds. Now Parker Traves, 21.713, new fast time so far for Traves. Bill, some big developments here in qualifying. Alex McCollum has lost connection.
Oh, no.
Right in the middle of qualifying. He has not gotten a lap in, and now he's going to have to rejoin the server. He's at risk of not making a lap here. It's only 3 minutes for qualifying in this series.
Oh, wow. That is huge. As Josh Cottle goes P1 in the 13 car.
21.697 for Cottle. That is new quick time and much faster than his practice speed. So he found something he liked there on that qualifying lap. That is a really strong lap right there.
Shout out to Rick Rube in the Islander in number 81 car goes P5, Jeff. P5 for Rick Rube.
And he just got bumped back to 6th by Josh Parrish. Parrish making his debut in the Late Model Shootout Series goes P5 now. 21.778 for Parrish.
Rick flying our presenting sponsors colors has been all season, that Islander in car. He goes P6 right now. That's a great qualifying effort for the ravishing one.
We're seeing Cole Cabre on the racetrack. Wait until the final minutes. He's got about 30 seconds to get a lap in right here. Bo Ledler now to 3rd on the board. Grayson Ward, quick time so far, 21.666. That is new fast time.
Grayson Ward, what a flying lap that was. As he puts it in front of Josh Cottle.
Cole Cabre's first lap was a 21.996. He is way down the order, and your points leader is in trouble right now as he makes his second lap. He will improve. Oh, top of the board. What an improvement. 21.663 for Cabre. He's going to get the International Short Track Association Quick Time Award.
Wow. So Cole Cabre goes top of the board right at the end of qualifying. And we will jump into your slow dash, Jeff. Another slow dash we have. We're going to start 30 cars here tonight. We have 29 here with us. So these guys will get an opportunity to get 25 extra laps in as they line up on pit road to go 25 laps in the what we call the slow dash. It's actually the B main.
Yeah, and we had to get a little creative tonight with the lap count. The main event was reduced to 100 laps, so they will run a 25 lap slow dash. That'll give us the Islander in 125. We had to get a little creative with it to make the lap counts work. But shout out to Islander Inn for sponsoring this one. Make sure you guys go check them out. Islander Inn on Put-in Bay, up in Ohio, in the Great Lakes up there. A lot of short tracks around that area. And plus, if you're just looking for a place to hang out, an island resort in the middle of the Great Lakes, go check it out. It sounds like a lot of fun. I think it could make a really fun summer racing vacation spot.
They have a swim up bar, Jeff.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool.
Enough said, right?
You might not even need the racing at that point.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, here we go for tonight's slow dash on the pole in the number 18 machine. It's the kid, Caden Fisher, on the outside of him. And the number 30, that's Will Dravicki.
Willie Howells will roll off P3 in the number 19 machine, and to his outside in the number 7, it's Jackson Lewis.
Del Mears will start 5th in the number 112. Scheduled to start 6th was Alex McCollum, but he has still not made it back into the server, so he is not going to partake in the slow dash. He's probably going to start dead last in the feature event tonight.
Starting in the 7th position, it's going to be a newcomer to the series, Trevor Edwards, in the 32 car, and to his outside in the 52. He'll bump up a row because of Alex's connection difficulties. It's the 52 car, Peyton Howe.
Well, here we go for your slow dash. Everybody's going to transfer on to the A main event. We will start 30 drivers in tonight's feature event. That means Alex McCollum not at risk of not making the race by missing this event. So if he can get back in, he will be racing tonight. Trevor Edwards starting at the rear of the field. He got no practice in tonight. So Trevor made it in last minute late entry tonight. So this is a chance for him to fill out the setup. I mean, he kind of got lucky here to have this slow dash.
Definitely a talented driver. As we see the pace car off Caden Fisher on the loud pedal. He's going to get a nice jump over Will Dravicki. Jackson Lewis going to slot in 3rd. Caden Fisher well out front as we have a battle for 2nd place.
Yeah, Will Dravicki on the top side. That is the preferred lane here sometimes at this racetrack, but the bottom seems to be working pretty well right now for Jackson Lewis as Willie Howells is spinning off turn 4. He saves it. He's going to get that car straightened back out. He's losing a lot of ground, but did not spin.
Didn't spin the car there off of turn number 4. You see Jackson Lewis. He's a little bit loose on the bottom, but is making the move. We hope that Shotgun 12 Racing would give us a setup that would work on the bottom, and so far it looks like it is as Jackson Lewis trying to get around Will Dravicki on what we would normally consider the slow line.
Yeah, some good competitive racing there as they're side by side. Here comes Peyton Howell now. He's going to try to move into 3rd as Dravicki got the wall. That's going to let Trevor Edwards sneak by as well. So Dravicki falling through the field right now. Caden Fisher out front by 0.7 of a second over Jackson Lewis, Peyton Howell, and Trevor Edwards. That's quite the group trying to chase him down.
Yeah, heck, it really is. I mean, those are some really fast guys. Jackson Lewis, Peyton Howell, Trevor Edwards, and even Will Dravicki's a fast guy. He's a winner in the Late Model Challenger Series in seasons past. It's a really good stacked B main event. And I don't know if you remember, Jeff. If you have a good memory, Del Mears used to be a guy to beat in the Super Late Model ranks a few years ago. Del's still trying to figure out this new Super Late Model, and I don't blame him. This is a tough car to drive.
Yeah, Del has not really had a lot of success with the fixed setups. He seems to really enjoy the open setups, and I think he's still trying to adjust to the fixed setup racing. But he has his tracks where he really shines, and tonight, I think that could be one of his tracks tonight where he's going to do really well. He's good at keeping it out of trouble and staying out of the messes. And, you know, at this kind of racetrack, things can happen, and things can happen big here.
Yeah, this is a fast racetrack here at the, what do we call it? Lucas Oil Speedway, Indianapolis Raceway Park?
Yes, I believe that's the new name.
There's a lot going on there. Really.
Yeah. This track has changed names quite a bit over the years. Really, it's just, I remember always calling it IRP. That was the big thing, IRP.
You remember Thursday night. If you're old enough, you would remember Thursday Night Thunder days on ESPN. They used to have midgets, Jeff Gordon and whatnot. Sleepy Trip. Do you remember that name, Jeff?
I do not remember that name.
Oh, yeah, look that one up. But, I am old enough to remember those days. We used to be able to watch racing on Thursday nights from IRP.
Well, Caden Fisher still out front, leading Jackson Lewis in the slow dash. Peyton Howell running 3rd. Trevor Edwards 4th. Will Dravicki 5th, Delmere 6th, Willie Howe 7th on the racetrack. Alex McCollum had joined us and pulled out on the racetrack, was running some laps, and then his connection dropped again. So we have lost Alex McCollum again here. That is not a good start for Alex McCollum tonight. If he's able to get back, he's going to start at the rear of the field, and Alex sitting 4th in points. Doesn't want to lose an opportunity to win a race, and because those bonus points, once we get to the playoffs, are going to be very, very important.
Alex needs to kick the hamster.
Well, lap 10 in the books, or on lap 10 right now, 9 laps in the books, as we are working this 25-lap slow dash. It's still Caden Fisher out front, and the guys behind him have not been able to reel him in at all. So Jackson Lewis not able to make any gains on Caden Fisher. Caden running a really nice pace out front.
Caden's been doing really well as of late, Jeff, in the 18 car. Really starting to pick up some speed. We saw him have a ton of speed a couple seasons ago in Late Model Challenger Series as he won the championship. But he does a lot of real racing as well, and he spends a lot of time working on the real cars. So not as much time to be on the iRacing service, but Caden has been picking up speed in this super late model.
Elliot Carlson handing out in the chat. Not racing with us tonight, but I believe we'll see him tomorrow night in the County Road Custom Late Model Challenger Series. He said, do you guys remember Dave Despain and the Speed Channel? Of course, I wasted a lot of time watching Speed Channel back in the day. Brooklyn in the chat cheering for Peyton Howell, who's currently running in that 3rd spot.
Can't believe he asked us if we remember Dave Despain.
Yeah.
Like that was that long ago. I remember the Speed Channel was a while ago.
So Caden Fisher still out front. Jackson Lewis has cut into the gap slightly, but he is still a ways back from Caden Fisher. Now it's about 0.6 of a second as Jackson Lewis currently running 2nd. Peyton Howell was right with Jackson. He lost a little time there through 1 and 2. Got up the racetrack a bit and really slowed his momentum. It almost seemed like he kind of missed the corner on entry and kind of lost some ground to Jackson.
Trevor Edwards just got into the outside wall on the back straightaway. Not a ton of damage on that race car.
Well, these guys have really spread out here in the slow dash, and Caden Fisher out front. It's about 5.5 tenths now back to Jackson Lewis. Lewis starting to reel Caden Fisher in now, and now it's 4.5 tenths of a second. So Caden starting to lose some speed here as Jackson Lewis is starting to make gains.
Jump inside the helmet cam with Jackson Lewis as he tries to run down your leader. You can see a little bit of a different line from both of these drivers. Caden's a little bit farther up the racetrack. Jackson taking a little more of a middle line. Jackson started to make up just a little bit of ground on the young kid out front.
I was looking at the Facebook chat. Elliot said he's not going to be able to make it tomorrow. He's on a work trip, so that's unfortunate. Elliot, hopefully we'll see him back next week.
More points implications there, Jeff.
Yeah, he's one of those guys sitting in the top 10 in points on that side of on the Tuesday night side. So definitely could cause quite a mix-up tomorrow night. So Caden Fisher still leading. That gap is down to 0.3 of a second now as Jackson Lewis is starting to reel in Caden Fisher. Time is ticking away, though. Jackson, if he gets there, it's going to be, on the white flag lap, maybe the lap before. So not going to be a lot of time to do anything with Caden Fisher unless he can really turn it on and start putting the pressure on him right now.
He's almost there, just about a car length, maybe a car length and a half to Caden Fisher, which, Jackson Lewis behind. Will Dravicki has taken the number 30 into the pit lane. Caden Fisher sideways getting into the corner. That's going to give Jackson Lewis an opportunity to close in just a little bit more.
Yeah, Caden loose off the corner as well that time, so that really let Jackson gain some momentum, and now he is starting to put the pressure on Caden Fisher off turn 4. They're going to cross the line and start 5 to go right now.
You watch the hands of Jackson Lewis as they get through the corner. You see him turning left, making that car turn, and then the car gets onto the right rear. You can see he's turning straight, and then he'll actually turn back to the right to get off the corner. If you don't think these cars are hard to drive, you haven't driven one in a while.
Yeah, the Super Late Model makes a lot of power now, and it's once you heat up that right rear tire, it just becomes a handful. All it takes is to slide it 1 or 2 times, and all of a sudden you've got a monster that you're trying to drive around this racetrack. And Jackson Lewis is doing a fantastic job. He is right there on the back bumper of the 18. Now he's going to find a way around. Plenty of lines to choose from here at Lucas Oil Raceway Park.
Big, wide racetrack. A little bit of a graduated bank out there, which means the bottom is a little flatter than the top. That's why we say the top is a little bit of the preferred groove. You can keep up momentum, but if the car will turn on the bottom, you'll see this side-by-side racing. Jackson Lewis looking for the lead.
Caden Fisher still out front, but he is on the top side of the racetrack now. Here comes Jackson Lewis trying to work the inside. Actually, more like the middle of the racetrack, as they're going to be door-to-door coming off turn 4. Almost a little contact. Caden Fisher's going to lead that lap.
Oh, and contact between the two gets Caden Fisher sideways. Fisher will get up and almost get the wall, might have touched it just a little bit. Now here comes Peyton Howell. He's going to look for second.
Well, Jackson Lewis out front. Peyton Howell is going to send her off into 3, going to try to clear the 18. Not quite clear, but it was enough to get up in front of the 18. Caden Fisher's going to dive to the bottom. They're going to be battling for second as Jackson Lewis sees the white flag.
Exciting racing here in the B-main. Here comes Trevor Edwards out of nowhere. So he was sitting watching this whole battle. He's moved into third past Peyton Howell.
Peyton Howell's going to try to answer back. He's going to battle with Trevor Edwards off turn 4. Jackson Lewis is going to see the checkered flag. He's going to win tonight's slow dash. He is going on to the A-main.
Wow. Great racing at the end there as Caden Fisher had worn out that right rear. You can see that car starting to get a little loose on the 18 machine. Peyton Howell able to take advantage, actually made contact, a little bit of contact on the way by. Then it was a pretty bold slide job from Peyton Howell. It didn't quite work, crossed over, and then Trevor Edwards got the spot.
So Jackson Lewis, your winner. Caden Fisher, second. Trevor Edwards going to come home third in that one. Peyton Howell, fourth. Willie Howells, fifth. Delmere, sixth. Will Dravicki, seventh. Alex McCollum going to finish eighth after some connection issues. He is back in the server. He's going to partake in warm-up and start dead last in tonight's feature event. 30 drivers going to start tonight's feature event.
So Jeff, we'll take a look at the point standings heading into tonight's A-main. You talked about it. Cole Cabrey, your quick time, your International Short Track Association quick time award winner tonight. Picks up those 5 bonus points. Going to increase his lead heading into the race.
Yeah, that's a valuable 5 bonus points over Thomas Axum. Josh Cottle is sitting third in the standings. Alex McCollum, he came into the night fourth. He's going to start dead last in this B main. Parker Traves, last week's winner. He's now in the top 5. Daniel Pope, not with us, came into this tonight 6th place in points. Not going to be here tonight. He could lose some ground. Dylan Bates, 7th. Grayson Ward holding on to that 8th and final playoff spot. He is second quick time, so you know he might be one of those guys that's able to leapfrog Daniel Pope. I think he's going to be close enough. If he has a good run tonight, he's already got those bonus points in his pocket. He's a guy who could end up moving up into the top 5 or 6 spots.
See the rest of your top 20 on the screen. A lot of movement still possible between all these drivers, really, especially with Daniel Pope not being here. You're going to watch him slip this week.
Yeah, we're not seeing Dustin Marquette tonight or Blaze Brinkley, so some drivers going to be able to move into the top 20 as well tonight. As Brinkley probably going to fall out of the top 20. There's some guys sitting back there like Aaron Avendroth, Peyton Howell, AJ Rogers. I mean, even outside the top 20 in points, the field is stacked.
It really is, and the goal is 10th. You want to get into the 10th spot. That's a payout position at the end of the season. So we pay out all the way down to the 10th position. So you want to get all the way there. Even if you're running like 16th right now, like Del Mears, he wants to get up to 10th and get some dollars at the end of the year.
Well, Bill, that is the end of our final warm-up session. So now it is time to grid the field for tonight's Islander in 125. And we can tell you now, it was a 5 invert. As you said, kind of on the low side for our inverts. And something interesting going on right now. Brett Suggs, he was scheduled to start on the pole tonight. He has had to disconnect from the server, and I'm not sure he's going to make it to start on the pole tonight.
Holy cow. What is happening?
Well, let's start with our gridding for the Islander in 125 here at Lucas Oil Raceway Park in Indianapolis. On the pole, or supposed to be on the pole, the number 33 of Brett Suggs. On the outside of him, last week's winner, the number 60, that's Parker Traves.
Starting in the third position in the number 13, that's Josh Cottle. And to his outside in the number 5, your second quick qualifier. I'm sorry, in the number 9, your second quick qualifier, that's Grayson Ward.
Starting fifth tonight, your International Short Track Association Quick Time Award winner and your series points leader, it's the 54, Cole Cabry. On the outside of him, this driver is currently sitting outside the playoff positions, but he's shown a ton of speed of late. The number 78, that's Bo Ledbetter.
Starting in the 7th position in the number 15, we've also seen a lot of speed out of this driver in the last few races. That's Matthew Barkhouse. And to his outside in the number 17 Velocity Motorsports car, it's AJ Rogers.
Starting night tonight in the number 34 machine will be Kelsey Rogers. On the outside of him, making his late model Shootout Series debut, the number 55, it's Josh Parrish.
Starting in the 11th position in the number 81 Islander in machine, it is the ravishing one, it's Rick Rube. And to his outside in the number 67, it's Eric Tracy.
Starting 13th tonight will be the number 91 of Dylan Bates. On the outside of him, the number 28 machine will be Corey Bigley.
Starting in the 15th position in the 13 car, the two-time defending series champion, not really the qualifying effort this man was looking for, it is Thomas Axum. And to his outside, the defending late model Challenger Series champion in the number 22, it's Jordan Harnish.
Starting 17th, and will be another driver making his debut tonight in the number 50 machine, it's Craig Tolley. On the outside of him in the 65 machine, it'll be Aaron Abendroth.
Starting in the 19th position in the number 42, it's Super Zach Onen. And to his outside, another one of the Challenger Series call-ups in the number 83, it's Chris Roma.
Colby Bryant will start 21st tonight. On the outside of him will be the number 21 machine of Aaron Johnson.
Starting in the 23rd position, we just saw him win your slow dash or your B main in the number 7 car, it's Jackson Lewis. And to his outside in the 18, it's the kid, Caden Fisher.
Trevor Edwards will roll off 25th tonight in the number 32 machine. On the outside of him will be the 52, that's Peyton Howe.
Starting in the 27th position, it is Wet Willie Howes in the number 19 car. And to his outside in the number 112, that's Del Mears.
And starting last on your grid will be the number 30, Will Jervicki in the 29th position. Dead last on the field, the number 8, the guy sitting 4th in points and a winner this season in the series, the number 8 car, that is Alex McCollum.
I did notice, Jeff, there's a couple of cars out back that did have, I assume they were penalties. Looks like Jordan Harnish, Peyton Howe, they're both out in the back of the field, and Jackson Lewis.
Yeah, so those 3 drivers will move to the rear of the field due to penalties. Josh Cottle going to move up to the pole. He'll be alongside last week's winner, Parker Traves. So Brett Suggs not able to make the call. He is not with us, not going to start this race. So just 29 of the 30 drivers going to take part in tonight's event.
Quick prediction, Jeff? Quick prediction?
Quick prediction. I mean, I'm going to go with Grayson Ward. I just think he's got a ton of speed. I picked him last week. He wasn't able to win, but I'm going to go with Grayson Ward tonight.
Bo Ledbetter.
Well, here we go. Josh Cottle has control of this field starting on the pole as we go green flag racing. The Islander in 125, and Josh Cottle got a great restart. He's going to get clear of Parker Traves going into turn 1. Here comes their points leader, the 54, Cole Cabry, to the inside of Traves already.
Guys on the bottom got to be careful. The car's really, really loose in these early laps before the tires warm up and get a little bit of grip. We saw those cars sliding around in the B main. But the bottom starts to work once we get some movement going. So you can see some cars getting really close off of turn 4. And we got a car around Willie Howes, the inside wall.
Trouble for Willie Howes. We are still green flag racing. That did not bring out a caution. So we are still green and racing as Josh Cottle has shot out to a huge lead over Parker Traves. Now the caution is going to wave, and I believe something might have happened on the back straightaway.
Trevor Edwards, nope, he is fine.
I believe it started with Edwards and Caden Fisher, maybe Aaron Johnson involved.
Caden Fisher's got big damage on the 18.
Yeah, I think Alex McCollum took some damage as well. That happened right in the middle of or towards the back of the field around the 22nd position.
Oh, Trevor Edwards is, I believe, spinning down the track here. Take a look and see what we can find out. Contact. Wow, Caden Fisher looks like, yes, McCollum got hit by Fisher as he came up the racetrack. Gotta figure out how that started.
I just got a pretty good look at it from the drone camera, and to me, it looks like there might have been some net code between Trevor Edwards and Aaron Johnson. As Trevor started to come up the racetrack, it just hooked him in the right rear, turned him around.
The
Caden
Elite
Fisher,
Performance Industries drone cam, that's a good idea.
yeah, Caden Fisher just had nowhere to go. Alex McCollum got involved in that as well as Del Mears, but it looks like it starts with some net code down the back straightaway.
Hey, Aaron might have been a little low. I think it is hard to see that. Oh, Del Mears got up in the outside wall hard.
That's a tough one to call right there.
I feel like Aaron was a little bit low, maybe a little bit off the corner, got the car a little bit loose. It's definitely a tough call. If not, it would be a racing deal. It just didn't seem like the 21 car was quite up the racetrack where Trevor Edwards kind of expected him to be. And then there is definitely some net code when they come together. That hooks the right rear of the 32 car. He goes in the outside wall. Actually did a really nice job not pancaking that car. The problem was when he spun back down the racetrack, Caden Fisher and Alex McCollum were coming, and they ran into the 32 car.
So this is going to set up a single file restart here. I guess scoring determined we did not complete a lap, so single file restart here with Josh Cottle out front of Parker Traves.
I think the Willie Howell spin caused that. The whole field has to pass the start-finish line. I think Willie was quite a bit behind as we see the pace car off. Del Mears is on the pit lane after the big damage he took. Josh Cottle takes the green flag as we go down into turn number 1.
So green flag is out as Cottle trying to extend that lead once again over Parker Traves. Cole Cavery running third. I can tell you Brett Suggs is back on the racetrack. He is 4 laps down, but if we get enough cautions, he could get some lucky dogs, maybe get back on the lead lap tonight.
Yeah, if you get enough of a break. We got a 3-wide situation towards the middle of the field.
See Craig Tolley, Del Mears, they were off the pace there. I think Del was trying to let the field go by. And that ended up with some 3 and maybe 4 wide action as Alex McCollum is moving past the 24, Colby Bryant. So move Alex McCollum up to about 19th position, I believe.
Alex McCollum's car does not look good at all as that car is wadded up in the front end, but still fast in the 8 cars. You can see Alex moving forward. He's to the back bumper of Chris Roma now. Roma running in the 17th position.
Another battle going on around Dylan Bates and Josh Parrish. They are battling hard for the 10th position. As Dylan Bates now clears Parrish in that 55 machine. Bates up a spot. Here comes Thomas Axum, 2-time defending reigning champion, now in the mirror of the guy making his first start in the late model shootout series.
Wonder if that makes a guy nervous.
I mean, it would make me nervous.
I think if I'm Josh Parrish, he's probably going, what's he doing back here?
Yeah, right? Axum, and Willie Howell's off the pace down the front straightaway. He's going to let the field go.
A lot of room to let the field go on this racetrack. As Axum sideways into turn number 1. You can see him fighting that race car. He was sliding it through 1, and boy, I would be really worried if I was above Axum right now, as he was just dirt tracking it through turns 1 and 2.
And we know how upset that makes the right rear tire when you slide a car like that. So got to be careful about doing something like that. It can really mess with your tire wear and really kind of ruin your race.
Now Parrish into the wall down the back straightaway. The 55 lost some momentum. Axum had to take evasive maneuvers. Now he's underneath Josh Parrish as they go side by side through 3 and 4. Trying to make the run. Difficult to pass on the bottom here at IRP.
Shout out to Misty, who's hanging out in the chat cheering for Grayson Ward. Grayson currently running in the 4th spot behind Cole Cavery. Your quick qualifier, Cavery. Grayson Ward was 2nd fastest in qualifying. Josh Cottle still out front of Parker Traves. And they've kind of built themselves up a nice lead over Cole Cabrey right now. A little bit of a gap between those top two in third place.
Parrish and Axum still going at it. As Axum just can't find the momentum. You see Parrish with the momentum down the back straightaway. He'll take the position as they head into turn number 3. Now Axum back to his door down the bottom of 3 and 4.
And this just shows how hard it is to pass at this racetrack. Axum is doing everything he can to try to get around this 55 of Josh Parrish, and it's just so difficult on the bottom side to keep that car from spinning the tires on the exit of the corner. And again, Thomas Axum just gets loose once, falls all the way back behind the 55. Kelsey Rogers and Matt Barkhouse having a fun battle here in the 7th position. Barkhouse on the top side of the racetrack, Kelsey Rogers in the 34 on the bottom. And that time, Barkhouse got a nice run off turn 2. He's going to clear Kelsey Rogers, hold on to that spot for the time being.
Again, the track position, a premium here at IRP, Lucas Oil Speedway. You just cannot make the pass on the bottom. Just so hard to get that car to stick on the bottom. The guy up top has a little more banking to lean on, and he can keep up his momentum. Saw Axum trying to get around Parrish, and now they are back side by side and really tight onto the backstretch.
Axum going to try to send it off into the 3. Not going to be quite clear. Now, got up the racetrack. I think Parrish had to cut him a little slack right there as Axum tried the slide job, and he just wasn't quite clear. Made the 55 have to back out of it.
I think that was Thomas Axum letting Josh Parrish know he had had enough. I think the elbows came out, and it was just time to go.
To move Thomas Axum up into the 10th position, or actually 11th position. Josh Parrish back to 12th now. Eric Tracy running 13th. He's the next guy behind Parrish. Corey Bigley running 14th on the racetrack. Aaron Avendroth 15th. I did see Alex McCollum just get around Zach Onan. He brought Peyton Howell with them. Now Onan is under pressure from Jackson Lewis. You saw Lewis win that slow dash just a bit ago, so we know there's some speed in that number 7 machine.
We just saw Corey Bigley get up into the outside wall in front of Aaron Avendroth. Doesn't look like he did a whole lot of damage to that 28 car. Maybe a tiny bit on the right front. But all these cars single file racing here is it's hard to get out of line. Jackson Lewis, he's going to look to the bottom of Peyton. Is it Peyton Howell? No, it's going to be Zach Onan. He'll take that spot.
Kelsey Rogers and Matt Barkhouse are still going at it for that 7th spot. Kelsey Rogers trying to work that inside line and just has not been able to clear the 15. And it's really stacking up the guys behind him now. AJ Rogers, Rick Rube, Dylan Bates, they are all lined up behind this battle with nowhere to go.
So hard. Oh, and he does. He gets into the left rear. Barkhouse going to back in the wall. AJ Rogers flipping. He is upside down. AJ Rogers. And he has gone turtle.
Yeah, I saw Dylan Bates involved in that one as well. That caught up a lot of cars. Rick Rube was involved in that one. I don't think Rick's damage is going to be that bad, but AJ Rogers definitely took the worst end of that incident.
Del Mears does AJ Rogers a solid. Came up and bumped his car and knocked him over. But AJ Rogers a tremendous amount of damage on the 17 car. And we saw it happen. You guys watched it. We'll go ahead and take a look at it on the replay. But that one was Kelsey Rogers and Matthew Barkhouse trying to battle going down into turn number 3, and contact was made, and mayhem ensued.
Yeah, and, I'm looking at it. I think the drone cam is going to be the best look at it. To me, it looks like the 34 just mid-straightaway just kind of washes up into the 15 and just kind of turns Matt Barkhouse around.
I mean, it was tight between. I was actually thinking to myself, Jeff, as I'm watching those guys go around, how tight they're racing each other and how difficult it is to do something like that. We'll go ahead and see if we can jump to the drone cam here. Yeah, just right on the straightaway. I don't even think that they got into the corner. Yeah, I think middle of the straightaway, he was trying to arc it as much as possible. And man, huge wreck. A lot of cars. Let's see if a lot of cars got through that. There were a lot of cars coming. That wasn't the best view of that. There we go. Rick Rube, a little bit of damage on that car. Josh Parrish is involved. Dylan Bates got big damage, Jeff.
Yeah, that is tough for Bates because he is he is in that top 8 in the standings right now, but just barely. And I think he was thinking he might have a good run tonight. This is kind of a home track for Dylan. This is kind of his area where he races late models in real life, and I think he was hoping for a good run tonight. And his season has just not gone very well.
Yeah, that was not good at all. Dylan Bates in trouble in that number 91 car. Take a look at him as he's sitting here. Oof. That car is wrecked. Every corner but the left rear has damage.
Yeah, that caught up some really good cars there. But AJ Rogers currently sitting on pit road. Looks like most everybody's going to get back on the racetrack. I saw Del Mears, Willie Howes coming down to repair some damage from that opening incident. Brent Suggs did pick up a lucky dog, so he is 3 laps down currently in the 29th position.
Rick Rube having the best run of his season in 6th position at the moment. Does have a little bit of damage on the right front of that car. Let's see if we can look at Thomas Axum. He is clean. Josh Parrish. Looked like Parrish had gotten into it, but that car looks good. Right behind them, you have Alex McCollum, who had damage early from the first incident.
Well, Elliot Carlson was saying in the chat he had picked AJ Rogers, and I guess he feels like he might have just jinxed him.
That was my other pick, Jeff. AJ loves this place, and unfortunately caught in a the big one here early.
Well, here we go. Double file restart. Josh Cottle chooses the inside line. Parker Traves on the outside line. That 13 machine gets to control the start. He is off and away. He is clear of Parker Traves. Got a fantastic restart down into turn 1. Cole Cavery, he's going to be door-to-door with the 60.
Cole Cavery looking to the bottom. This is when he has to make it happen on these early runs. Once the momentum gets moving on the top, usually it looks like you're not going to be able to pass. And now Cavery not making ground on the bottom. Here comes Grayson Ward in the 9.
Yeah, and you can see where Grayson really wanted to keep that car on the outside of Cavery because he knew once that 60 machine got clear, then he'd have the preferred line on the 54 at Cavery. Can he steal away this 3rd spot from Cole Cavery?
Cavery went to the bottom, was on the bottom, started at the bottom, tried to make the move for 2nd place, and now he's in trouble. We always talk about the sucker hole being on the top, and now Ledbetter up the racetrack in the 78, almost gets loose. Actually did get loose, almost wrecked that car, saves it, loses a little bit of ground to Cole Cavery. Cavery able to find his way back in line.
And here comes Thomas Axum. He's going to take a run at Dylan Bates on the back straightaway. Axum to the inside of the 91. Now, Bates got a little bit of damage, but his car seems to be running pretty well.
A little bit.
Yeah, even after all that damage, that 91 machine's still hanging tough in the 6th spot, but Axum going to clear.
Bates doing pretty well, but wow, we got a cluster of cars back here as Josh Parrish in the 55 is underneath Rick Rube. They'll be side by side.
You can see Alex McCollum pushing the 81 machine, trying to keep him ahead of the 55. Now Parrish moves up in front of the 81 of Rick Rube. Here comes Eric Tracy on the bottom. Alex still pushing the 81 around the racetrack.
Wow. Rick Rube doing everything he can to hang on to it. Now he's sideways. He'll save it as Alex McCollum got into the left front. Rube going to lose some positions in the 81 car.
And Alex maybe pushed a little bit too hard there as he got into him in the middle of the corner. Rick saved it. Made a heck of a save, but he's going to lose a ton of ground tonight.
Now Jackson Lewis in the 7 to the inside of Alex McCollum. That's going to be a battle for the 10th position. Jackson Lewis moving forward after his win in the slow dash. They're going to be door-to-door coming off of turn 2.
Fantastic racing all over the racetrack because these guys have really this Shockeye setup has made it so guys can run both lanes and be fairly competitive. And Jackson Lewis, look at how he's hanging on the inside with Alex McCollum.
Side by side, Lewis actually made ground through turns 1 and 2. McCollum into the wall down the back straightaway. Peyton Howe had to check up. Here comes Trevor Edwards in the 32.
Jackson Lewis going to try to clear the 8 machine down the front straightaway. Not able to do it, just not quite clear. And McCollum going to continue to battle as Lewis, now he's going to be clear off turn 2. No, McCollum going to stick the nose there once again.
Lewis probably could have cleared there, but didn't. I think we might have an issue. Nope, it's not Matthew Barkhouse. It's Will Dravicki. He's upside down in turn number 2.
Will Dravicki on his lid. And it looked like there might have been some contact with the 15 of Matt Barkhouse that got the 30 turned around.
I think it actually happened earlier than that, Jeff. There's pick it up here as they come off of turn number 4.
So there was contact with Rick Rube in the 24. Barkhouse ended up the racetrack, got into the wall.
Oh. Well, that was odd.
Yeah, just a weird incident there.
Like, Barkhouse got the wall, it slowed his momentum down a ton. Dravicki got into the back end of the 15 car. Not much Dravicki could do there. Then when Barkhouse spun around, it stuffed Dravicki into the wall, and he ended up flipping.
Yeah, that was
Really odd physics there.
Yeah, that was an awkward one.
That is not normal. Check this out. From the zoomed-in cam, you're going to see Dravicki. Really nothing he could do there. That's not really anybody's fault, but the walls, really. We call that being hooded, Jeff. There's a long explanation as to why we call it that. Jeff did go over it one time in one of our broadcasts, and we're not going to do it again.
Yeah, just that is a really bizarre incident right there. But
it's terrible that we laugh at bizarre incidents. Somebody just flipped and the race is basically over. But I mean, it's just that is not normal. That should not have happened.
Yeah.
And
definitely, maybe a little bit of a glitch. It happens in software. I mean, it's gonna happen.
Getting stuffed into a solid aluminum wall doesn't normally flip your car over.
Well, Matt Barkhouse sitting on pit road. He is trying to repair some damage as well. AJ Rogers, I believe, it's probably called it a night. He's going to come home 30th tonight on the 17 machine. Willie Howell's still out there on the racetrack, 3 laps down. Brett Suggs still 3 laps down. Will Dravicki might be out of this one as well. So we'll kind of see how that pans out. I believe we lost 2 cars from this race as we work lap 37 of this 100-lapper. Shout out to Steiner Motorsports and Michaela hanging out in the Facebook chat.
I shouted out Rick Rube a little while ago, Jeff.
You jinxed him, didn't you? Man.
We just can't talk about drivers. We just got to talk about the race and the things that are going on. Taking a look at Rick Rube on the racetrack currently in the 81 Islander Inn machine. Islander Inn, your presenting sponsor tonight for the Islander Inn on Put It In Bay. Or is it Put In Bay?
Put in
Bay, yeah. Islander Inn on Put In Bay up there in Ohio. If you go take a look at the Facebook page, we linked it on our Facebook page. Very cool pictures. I actually had fun looking at it today, Jeff, and I thought about it. It's only 12 hours from me. I could drive up there and spend a week, I think.
Yeah, and like we said, it's just north of Sandusky. Toledo's there, Fremont, Attica. So I mean, there's tons of racetracks right there. If you looking for a place to go for a couple weeks in the summer and enjoy the beach and see some racing, right there in Central Ohio, northern
Something
Central
I
Ohio.
certainly like to do.
Absolutely. As we go back to Green Flag Racing with Josh Cottle, Parker Traves on that front row. Grayson Ward now will start third with Cole Cabrey on the outside.
Cottle going to clear Traves into the corner. Now Grayson Ward and Cole Cabrey, that's going to be your battle. Now Cabrey in the line that you want to be in. Grayson Ward on the bottom. Let's see what happens here. They're going to be side-by-side off of 2.
Cabrey on the top side, Grayson Ward on the bottom. Here comes Thomas Axum. He's taking a peek underneath the 78 of Bo Lebeter. Josh Parrish got on the wall going into turn 3. He's going to lose a few spots. And now the 67 of Aaron Tracy. He's down on the apron.
And Aaron Johnson's around in the inside wall.
Trouble for Aaron Johnson in the 21 machine. The caution is going to wave here on lap 41.
Big damage on that Velocity Motorsports number 21. New paint scheme this week. A joke between those the teammates that's a roadblock car.
And I think Aaron got a little help from Corey Bigley, who came down off the wall a bit and just tagged the 21, got him turned around, and Aaron took a hard lick to the inside wall.
Hard is not the word for it. To put that much damage, and you can see Corey. Oh. Imagine if this was real racing, how much that would hurt.
Yeah, that's a big hit right there.
See if we can get another look at that off of the straightaway here. Bigley just came down, touched the 21. That moved the 21 up the track, and he yanked left thinking he was getting wrecked. And that is big junk for the 21 car, unfortunately for Aaron Johnson. That's probably, I think I saw that car crab walking, so unless they can do quite a bit of repairs on that machine, it's probably the end of his night.
Well, Aaron Johnson, I believe he took that thing down to pit road. Yeah, he's currently sitting on pit road. Michaela here said she is supporting Matthew. I'm guessing Matt Barkhouse is who she's talking about. Elliot saying, can't Jeff and Bill go to the island and still work remotely? And wouldn't that be the dream?
Wow. Who said that?
Elliot Carlson.
Elliot, are you hiring at your job? Because mine probably won't do that. That does sound like a good time. If you haven't done it already, go over to Islander Inn's Facebook page and take a look at the pictures and tell us in the chat if that doesn't look awesome.
So under caution here, we will have a double file restart. So they did complete a lap that time. It'll be Josh Cottle out front, Parker Traves, Cole Cabry, Grayson Ward, Bo Ledbetter, your top 5. Thomas Axum started 15th in this race. He is up to 6th. Dylan Bates currently running 7th. Jackson Lewis started 23rd. He is up to 8th. Alex McCollum started 30th, dead last tonight. He is 9th on the running order. Peyton Howell started 26th. He's up to 10th. Trevor Edwards started 25th. He's up to 11th. Josh Parrish running 12th right now. Eric Tracy, Jordan Harnish, Zach Onan, Aaron Abendroth, Caden Fisher, Kelsey Rogers, Rick Rube, and Colby Bryant, your top 20 as they run.
We get it, Jeff. We know where the cars are, but the Islander Inn is a Caribbean bar, Jeff. I'm sorry, I've lost it. I can't think about anything else but margaritas in Ohio. That's what I want to do.
Cheyenne cheering for Dylan Bates tonight. Elliot did say IT workers can work remotely.
It's true.
I'm thinking your boss might differ.
There are some individuals that work remotely in different locations of my company, but that kind of do the same job I do. But I'm more of a hands-on guy. I like being in the office.
It's hard to do IT when you've had a couple margaritas.
That's right. It's true. No, actually, it's not. It's not. No, it's good.
Well, the pace car going to head off the racetrack. Josh Cottle, Parker Traves. Now, that second row, Cabry and Grayson Ward, they have swapped once again. So, Cabry into 3rd, Grayson Ward restarting 4th. You got Bo Ledbetter and Thomas Axum in that 3rd row as we get to go green flag racing once again. Cottle back on the loud pedal, but Parker Traves, he's door-to-door with them now. He got a much better restart this time.
This is exactly what Parker Traves needs. Cottle was not able to clear. Now, Traves in the fast lane on the top side. Can he make the move for this lead?
Parker Traves door-to-door with Josh Cottle, inches ahead through turn 3. Now Cottle going to pull ahead as he takes the short way around turns 3 and 4 at the start. Finish line, Parker Traves, new leader. And the caution going to wave trouble on the front straightaway. I think that's going to give Parker Traves the lead. And that was Bo Ledbetter, who was running 5th that just went around.
And my pick. Take a look and see what happened to Bo. Parker Traves steals your lead away from Josh Cottle.
And man, I think it was just one of those all by myself moments off turn 4. Bo just started to get that thing loose, and they just kind of slid on down in the infield. Everybody able to avoid him. Lucky for Thomas Axum, who was able to back off just enough to let that 78 get down the racetrack before he made any contact with them.
We're going to jump into Thomas Axum's car as we watch Bo right in front of him. Thomas Axum doing a masterful job. Just lifting, letting that car clear, and driving by.
Yeah, it takes some heads-up driving from the guys behind you, too, to not run you over, because he did have some drivers behind him. Jackson Lewis and Dylan Bates were right on the tail of Thomas Axum, and everybody doing a good heads-up job there. You see a car getting sideways, you got to lift a little bit.
It's a Caribbean bar in Ohio, Jeff.
Brett Suggs going to pick up another lucky dog, so he'll be back just 2 laps down now. I can tell you we have officially lost Matt Barkhouse and Aaron Johnson from this race, so just 26 drivers still in this one, with Willie Howes running 26, 3 laps down.
Actually, it's a Caribbean resort in Ohio. It's actually not just a bar; it's a whole hotel
Yeah, it's a whole
room. I
yeah.
mean, multiple pools, all kinds of deck chairs, big deck area. It does look like fun. That's nice. I spent some time on their Facebook today. I believe you can tell that.
Yeah, I mean, if you go to their website, there is a book now button right there. You can just go ahead and book it for next year.
There you go. Parker Traves up, bumping the pace car as if he were Dale Earnhardt with Elmo Langley driving it. Canadians.
So Barker had, I mean, just inched ahead of Josh Cottle as that yellow was flying. So move Parker Traves up to your race lead. Josh Cottle will restart second. Cole Cavery third. Grayson Ward, Thomas Axum, Jackson Lewis, Dylan Bates, Peyton Howell, Alex McCollum, and Trevor Edwards, your top 10. Josh Parrish running 11th. Eric Tracy, Jordan Harnish, Zach Onan, Caden Fisher, your top 15.
Parker Traves is giving us a good look at the rear suspension of the pace car. We went to the nose cam. He's pretty much knocked that camera off.
Reagan in the chat cheering for Jackson Lewis.
Jackson Lewis having a run.
Yeah, I mean, he passed a lot of cars tonight. A lot of these drivers have passed a lot of cars tonight. Unbelievable. For a track that we just said earlier on tonight, it was going to be tough to pass. I mean, these guys are showing us maybe it isn't.
I mean, there's been a lot of movement towards the middle of the field. We've only seen one pass for the lead, which is not abnormal. But I'm surprised, Jeff, that Parker Traves is going to take the bottom.
Yeah, he took the lead from the outside, and we saw how much of an advantage it can be. So if you're Josh Cottle, here's your opportunity. If you can time this restart and keep that 60 car pinned to the bottom, he has an opportunity to take this lead back right here. And Parker Traves is going to give the outside to Josh Cottle. Now, you got to think Parker Traves might have something up his sleeve here on this restart. He's going to have to try to get clear of this 13 by turn 1.
That's the idea. You got to get clear. If you don't, and he's not at the moment as they head down into turn number 1, so Parker's going to have to swing really low, and it's not going to happen. Josh Cottle's going to have the top. Again, I think that was a questionable call by the 60 car.
Now Cottle door-to-door with Parker Traves as they head into turn 3. Now you're going to see the 13 start to lose a little ground, but off turn 4, ooh, they made contact right in the center of the corner. That's going to allow the 60 to clear. So Parker Traves out front all alone. Cole Cavery slots into the second spot.
A little bit of netco between your leaders. That's what seemed to have caused that. Now Dylan Bates is in trouble in turn number 1. I saw the car really sideways up the hill. Josh Parrish is going to slide by it in the 10th spot.
Yeah, it looked like Bates got loose on the brakes. That car got wiggled, went up into the wall. He lost a ton of momentum. Is now Cottle under attack from Grayson Ward. They make a little contact off turn 4. Ward's going to move up in front of Jackson Lewis. Jackson Lewis now, he's got pressure from Thomas Axum. Lewis to the outside of Ward down the back straightaway.
Racing all throughout the field. We were looking at a battle a little bit farther back. Jordan Hardish battling for 12th. Now Jackson Lewis up front. He's going to make contact with Grayson Ward off of turn 4. They wiggle. Oh, man, I cannot believe they didn't wreck right there, but they'll be side by side into turn number 1.
Yeah, scary moment there in the top 5 as the caution is going to wave for an incident further back in the field. We got Zach Onan around, Colby Bryant, Rick Rube. Yeah, they've just stacked up in turn 1. That's Bo Ledbetter involved as well in the 78. And I believe that started with Zach Onan, who was running 16th.
Wow, we have great racing on this racetrack until we don't. That's horrible. I mean, that didn't make any sense, but you know what I mean? It's just really good stuff. It's not just single file racing. They're all side by side, really battling.
Yeah, it looks like Zach might have got the wall.
Oh, just chopped down in front of Colby Bryant, ends up sideways. And then ends up on Colby Bryant's nose. Rick Rube stops. Bo Ledbetter piles in.
Yeah, Craig Tolley got a piece of that as well. He got the wall as he tried to slip by that one. Right as the 42 was coming by, Craig was able to make it through, but Colby Bryant, Rick Rube, and Bo Ledbetter not as lucky.
Definitely not a fun one for anyone involved. Take a look at that one from the drone cam as they headed down into turn number 1. I think you're right, though, Jeff. I think Onan got the wall, pulled it off of the wall, and then just nothing the rest of those cars could do. Colby Bryant, you got to feel bad for him, just kind of minding his P's and Q's. Gets involved in that wreck.
Now, Brett Suggs going to pick up another lucky dog. He will be 1 lap down in the 25th position.
Brett Suggs is loving all these yellows.
Yeah, and just past halfway, he's now just 1 lap down from maybe making something happen here.
Taking a look at the 7 car, Jackson Lewis came out of your slow dash B main tonight, all the way up to the 5th spot. See Thomas Axum in your screen there in 6th. He started 15th. Alex McCollum started dead last on the field. Well, dead last in front of the penalty cars. He's up to 7th.
Chase hanging out in the Facebook chat, cheering for Josh Parrish.
Josh Parrish having a good run here. His first time in the late model shootout series.
Yeah, the County Road Custom Late Model Challenger Series, guys. He is leading the charge right now.
Car still looks clean in the 55, and I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry, Josh. Never works out when I say something like that.
Well, Bill, I was kind of wondering if Parker Traves would mix things up a little bit on this restart, and he was asking Race Control about the restarts. He wanted to know, he was making sure, he was clarifying to make sure that he gets full control of the restart as soon as the pace car leaves the racetrack, that he can go anytime he wants. And that is the case. So we might see an early restart coming out of Parker Traves.
Clarifying rules in the middle of the race.
Yeah, so he just wanted to be sure that he knew exactly when he could take off, and because the pace car leaves here in turn 3, that's a big opening for them to be able to restart this race.
And your points leader, Cole Cabry, we saw him kind of get caught out earlier. When he was on the bottom. He's kind of survived these restarts, and now he's going to start on the top, which was the fast lane around, Cottle almost used it to take the lead last restart. Now Cabry's up there as well. So Cabry was your fast qualifier, Jeff, your International Short Track Association fast qualifier. And now he's trying to take the lead.
So Cole Cabry going to restart second. Parker Traves, your leader, can control this restart, go at any time. Now that the pace car is off the racetrack, he's still making them wait as they come around through 3 and 4, and you can see Cole Cabry trying to inch forward. He is off and away. Now, Parker Traves got a great restart. He is clear of Cole Cabry. The battle is on for that 3rd spot as Cottle and Grayson Ward got battle for 3rd.
What a drive by Cole Cabry into turn number 1 as he almost got to the outside. Now he's sideways onto the back straightaway. Cabry almost got to the outside on Parker Traves. Couldn't do it. They'll be nose to tail through 3 and 4.
Grayson Ward has cleared Cottle. Here comes Thomas Axum. Axum on the outside of the 13, the green 13, and Axum in the black number 13 on the top side. He is trying to get around Cottle, and he is inching forward down the back straightaway as these two battle hard for 4th.
Really, really close racing, almost making contact down the back straightaway. Side by side off of turn number 4. Cottle trying to make the bottom work. Super hard to do that. Here comes Jackson Lewis in the 7.
Jackson now has got the outside position. He's got Alex McCollum lined up behind him in that 8 machine. So Cottle really just cannot get in the line now, and it seems like the bottom is starting to fade a bit here.
Chris Roma just made a move around Corey Bigley, moved Chris Roma up into the 16th spot. His first night in the series right behind him. I believe it's his teammate, Craig Tully. He's moving forward as well in the 50.
And Billy, I got to think, we know these setups start out a little loose and then they tighten up as they go. I got to wonder, as this car gets tighter and tighter as the run goes on, is the outside just going to become more and more important?
I have no idea. I don't know. I mean, I don't have any insight. I don't drive this car, so I think probably that is the case. I would imagine that the outside will be the lane you need to be in. I think you have to be loose to run the bottom. Although in the past, in other cars, the other super late model, if you ran the bottom, you would loosen up. So I'm not sure exactly what this one does.
Well, Parker Traves out front right now. He's got your points leader, Cole Cabry, behind him. Grayson Ward, 3rd. Thomas Axum up into that 4th spot. Jackson Lewis from 23rd to 5th tonight. Josh Cottle, he has fallen back to 6th. Alex McCollum running 7th. Peyton Howell up from 26th to the 8th position. Trevor Edwards running 9th. Dylan Bates still in that top 10, even with all that damage on the number 91. Caution is going to wave down the back straightaway. I saw Zach Onen around in the 42 machine.
I think Colby Bryant was involved in that one again. We went to a speed shot on the back straightaway, Jeff, and about 25 cars went by at speed, and then Colby Bryant slammed the wall.
Yeah, I think there was a moment just ahead of Zach Onen that he checked up for, and Colby Bryant was not able to see the 33 of Brett Suggs. He was sideways. Zach checked up, and Colby Bryant coming with a full head of steam got into the side of the 42.
We'll figure out what happened. Oh, Aaron Abendroth got into Brett Suggs. That got Suggs sideways. That had Onen check up. You said it, Jeff. You called the rest of that. Onen checked up, and Colby Bryant wasn't able to. Onen didn't hit anything. Colby did. Unfortunately, the 24 got up in the outside wall pretty hard.
Yeah, unfortunately, Colby just really had no sight line there of the 33 and did not expect the 42. Coming off the corner, you never expect a car to lift. Now, the benefit here for Brett Suggs, who was just involved in that, he does get the lucky dog, and he is back on the lead lap. So
that's crazy.
Brett Suggs back on the lead lap. He started this thing down 4 laps down, and he is now running 24th on the lead lap.
That is crazy.
So, Bill, we are coming up on that 3/4 of the way mark here on this in this race, working lap 72, and I think we're probably going to come back to green at about lap 75. See Colby Bryant.
I'd like to see some green flag racing here, Jeff.
Yeah, when we get green flag racing, it's been fantastic. I mean, just some side-by-side racing all over the racetrack. That was our 7th caution of the night right there. See Colby Bryant still coming down pit road, trying to repair some of the damage on that 24 machine. Keeps getting out just in time to stay on the lead lap, so he's got not a lot of time on pit road here because it's such a small racetrack, so really just got to come in and do it piece by piece.
That can be very frustrating too. You're just trying to get as much damage as you possibly can, get it fixed. As much damage as he has, it's just kind of putting band-aids on an open wound. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're coming down. You're only getting 5-6 seconds at a time before you got to get back out on the racetrack to stay on the lead lap. And here we go. The field is double filed back, lined up. Parker Traves, Cole Carey, Grayson Ward, Thomas Axum now going to restart 4th. We're going to cross the line for the green on lap 75. So 25 to go when they cross the line. Parker Traves out front. He is clear. Cole Cabry already at the start-finish line.
Wow, what a move. And here comes Cabry down to the very, very bottom. As he looks to the bottom to try to make this move, can't do it. It's going to put Traves on the high side, but they'll be side by side down the back straightaway.
I like what Cabry did there. He took the short way around into turn 1. You know, they don't have the momentum built up. You might as well take the short distance around, and he is putting a challenge to Parker Traves. Traves, last week's winner, trying to hold on the outside line, but Cabry doing a fantastic job on the bottom. The caution is going to wave here on lap 76.
And Cabry could not get to the outside of the 60 car.
Willie Howell's around on the front straightaway.
Take a look at Willie. Willie was already involved in an incident earlier in the race. Wait, what racing up front? What a move by Cole Camry down into turn number 1.
Willie Howells and Aaron Abendroth kind of got together. Brett Suggs ended up tagging the 19 as the 19 got loose coming off turn 4. Willie Howells he got the worst end of that deal.
I don't know if Willie got, if he made contact with Abendroth, but he definitely looks like he gets a little bit loose.
Yeah, I think he was just tight, trying to keep it off the 65, and then there was a little bit of door-to-door contact that got him loose, and then just a little bit slow pace down the front straightaway, kind of got ran over there.
You could see Suggs tried to lift there on the camera shot that we gave you. But Willie was way off the gas, hard to react to being the car behind. Parker Traves going to lead this race. This man's been on fire in the super late model on iRacing. If you follow any other leagues or anything else, Parker Traves has been one of the guys, if not the guy to beat as of late in the super late model. Doing it tonight once again here at In the Zone Racing. Takes the bottom again. I'm not sure. Nobody's taking the top. I feel so nervous for the leader every single time. I feel like he has to get the jump.
Yeah, it's a dangerous decision, but I mean, the other thing is you might give up the bottom on the inside, and then the guy gets into you in turn 1.
Just clears, yeah.
So you just never know. And Parker Traves, he's been starting on the inside. He seems to be doing good timing these restarts. He's last time he was able to clear the 54. Now the 54 trying to roll out in front of him, and still not going to do it there as Parker Traves clear a Cole Camry into turn 1.
Yeah, that was the worst restart we've seen Cole Camry get against Parker Traves as Jackson Lewis is up to the 3rd spot. Axum is on the bottom. That's going to be your first battle. Now Axum going to have a challenge from Josh Cottle again on the outside.
Jackson Lewis up into the 3rd spot. Cottle trying to get back around the 13 of Thomas Axum. This time they're going to swap positions here. Cottle has the outside line, and I think Axum able to clear him into turn 1. Ooh. Not quite. Cottle sticks it back on the outside.
I think he gave him a break there. We got more battling. We're going to take a look a little bit farther back in the fields. We got cars everywhere. Bo Ledbetter going to get hit by Brett Suggs. Ledbetter was way on the bottom trying to get back up in the racing line, and Suggs ran into the back of him.
Caution is out as they head down the back straightaway. And I think something happened with Bo Ledbetter and Eric Tracy, but it actually started with Jordan Harnish and Dylan Bates right ahead. But Eric Tracy ended up going around down the back straightaway.
There was all kinds of, they were all over each other right in the middle of the field there. We will give you your, Kelsey Rogers and Bo Ledbetter got into Eric Tracy, but I think Tracy had to check up for Kelsey. Well, let's see. I don't know. That's teammate on teammate contact right there, Jeff.
Yeah, there was a moment between Harnish and Dylan Bates up front. I just don't think that really had much of an effect.
Yeah, that didn't seem like that was an effect there. We'll go to the Elite Performance Industries chopper cam for the first time tonight. See what we can see here.
And to me, it looked like Bates was going into turn 1 on the inside of Caden Fisher. He got loose. And now that I kind of see it from the chopper cam, I think Eric did react to what was going on in front of him, came down the racetrack a little bit as Bo was running the middle.
Let's take a look at Eric's camera here. Oh, it definitely turns down. 100%.
Yeah.
He reacted to what he saw in front of him. And probably we go behind him to Bo's cockpit cam. On the bottom, on the bottom, on the bottom. On the white line, on the white. And he's moving down as well. So both drivers moving down to the racetrack. Eric just came down a little bit farther, a little harder. And then Bo got hit by Brett Suggs down the back straightaway. I think you called that perfectly, Jeff.
Yeah, just that the contact up there with Dylan Bates, he was sideways, and it just everybody was trying to avoid it. And some of the guys and further back in the field, again, we talk about it. It's so hard to see over the spoilers of the cars ahead of you that really, if it's happening 3-4 cars ahead of you, you have no idea. So
Right.
when Dylan Bates is sideways like that, the guys directly behind him, they can see him, they check up, but the guys behind them have no idea that a checkup is coming. And unfortunately, sometimes you just get run over by lifting for the guys ahead of you.
Oh, Jackson Lewis is on Alex McCollum internet all of a sudden. So he's having some connection issues down the back straightaway. Looks like he's leveled out.
So we're going to go back to Green Flag Racing on lap 86. Parker Traves, Cole Cavery, Jackson Lewis, Thomas Axum, Josh Cottle, Grayson Ward, your top 6. Peyton Howell, Alex McCollum back there in that 4th row. And here we go. Parker Traves gets control of this restart. Cole Cavery needs a really strong restart this time. They're already making contact, and that is going to stack up the outside lane. Jackson Lewis into 2nd.
Wow. Wow. Parker Traves and Cole Cavery made contact at the point of acceleration. Now everybody's going to be 2 by 2. Now Cole Cavery will clear for 3rd. Cottle's up to 4th, and we go yellow. And I don't know where that was.
It looked like Colby Bryant and Eric Tracy got together down the front straightaway. Now, these guys were at the rear of the field.
How does that happen? There we go. We'll pick them up as they come off of turn number 4. Eric Tracy got into the back of Abendroth. Abendroth just wasn't going, looked like. And Tracy decided to turn left as Colby Bryant was down there.
Yeah, Colby again.
Oh, Aaron got the outside wall.
Yeah, Aaron Abendroth checked up, obviously in the wall. Eric Tracy tried to check up for him, moved down the racetrack. Colby Bryant's coming with a full head of steam on the bottom. I'm not really sure there's a whole lot he could have done there.
Go inside with Colby Bryant. Yeah, not that at all. He moves down like, okay, I see you guys having some issues there on the top side. And then Eric just is like, I'm going to come across, and there's just no room. And then Eric's probably like, oh, I didn't know there was a car there. Just a whole lot going on there. That's what happens when you get a big stack up. We'll take a look at it from inside Eric Tracy's car. That was just no room. Just ran out of room. And that is another yellow. Boy, way less, way more rough of a race than I expected. Honestly, I did not think we would have this many cautions at IRP. Although the racing is very tight at this racetrack, with everybody having the same setup, the same the same grip and everything else. I just didn't think these guys would run into each other quite as often as we're seeing tonight.
Yeah, that's our 10th caution of the night, and that's kind of on the high side for this series. And so we know IRP can be tough to pass. To me, it seems like we're seeing a lot of racing incidents, really just tight racing. Yeah. And so, I mean, we're not seeing the normal when we have a lot of cautions where it's guys running into each other. We really haven't seen one of those see car, don't hit car moments. It really been a lot of just hard racing. But this does set up a single file restart for Parker Traves, and that's probably the best situation for Parker here, as we are now within 10 to go. They will actually have 10 to go when they cross the line. So, I mean, Parker Traves has got to love to see this.
Yeah, I'm sure. Parker's got a big smile on his face right now as he's trying to win the Islander in 100. But he just wants this thing to go green from now on.
So Jackson Lewis will restart 2nd. Cole Cavery 3rd, Josh Cottle 4th, Thomas Axum 5th. Parker Trace takes him all the way to the outside wall. He's on the loud pedal. We are Green Flag Racing once again, and he opens up that gap 4-5 car lengths into turn 1 over Jackson Lewis.
Yeah, this is what Parker Trace wants to see. Just stay green, he's thinking in his head.
Remember, Jackson Lewis won the slow dash tonight, did not have the qualifying effort he expected. He started 23rd tonight, and now he is 2nd, trying to run down the guy who won last week, Parker Traves.
Traves out front, opens up about a car length and a half. Jackson Lewis drives it into the bottom there, down into turn number 1, trying to make up some ground, and he does so. He gets a nice little run down the back straightaway. They'll stay about even down into turn number 3.
Jackson Lewis made up a ton of ground through turn 3 as well. That 7 machine has got a ton of speed, and he is showing it right now as he is reeling in Parker Traves. And don't look now, he is also bringing that 54, Cole Cabry, to the front.
Cabry's there, Cottle's there, Thomas Axum is there, and Peyton Howell has moved the 52 car up into 6th.
Peyton Howell up into the 6th spot. Grayson Ward 7th. Trevor Edwards 8th. Alex McCollum fell back to 9th there. Josh Parrish now in the top 10.
Oh, Jackson Lewis sideways off of turn number 4. That's going to check him up. Here comes Cole Cabry. Cabry can't make the move. Jackson Lewis loses some ground. 6 laps remaining when they get back to the line.
You can tell he is pushing as hard as he can right now. There is no tire saving. It is time to go. If you have anything left, use it up now. And the caution is going to wave for an incident in the back of the field.
I give you one guess. I mean, he is having the worst second half of any race I've ever seen. And Colby Bryant backwards into turn 3.
Yeah, Colby Bryant in the 24 machine. It looked like he got together with Del Mears. And I got to say, of all the incidents we've seen, they haven't really been Colby's fault. This one might be his fault. I think he might have squeezed Del up into the outside wall there.
I think he thought he was going to clear the 112 as they were down into turn number 1. Del gets into the outside wall for a while. And I think Colby thought he was going to have him cleared and just moves up the racetrack.
Yeah, Colby just kind of the cherry on top of a bad night right there for Colby. Gonna get turned around on his side. Just a bad wreck right there. So this is not what Parker Traves wanted to see, because this is going to set up a double file restart, and we are heading into green-white checker territory here.
I don't think this is what any of us wanted to see. That was going to be an exciting finish. Jackson Lewis just putting on a show. Coming out of the B main, the slow dash. I hate calling it that, Jeff. You know that, but
yeah.
Those extra 25 laps, I think Jackson Lewis learned something as he has driven through this field. That number 7 is clean. And he was really, really starting to put pressure on Parker Traves.
Well, Traves now going to have a double file restart with Jackson Lewis, Cole Cabry, Josh Cottle. They will restart in that second row. Then you'll have Thomas Axum and Peyton Howell. Grayson Ward will restart 7th. Trevor Edwards 8th. Alex McCollum 9th. Josh Parrish 10th. Caden Fisher running 11th. Dylan Bates 12th. Kelsey Rogers, Jordan Harnish, Bo Ledbetter, your top 15. Corey Bigley running 16th. Brett Suggs back on the lead lap in the 17th position. Craig Tolley, Chris Roma, and Rick Rube, your top 20 as they run. But, Bill, here we go. It's going to be about, green-white checkered, 3 laps to go?
I'm just going to close my eyes, Jeff. This one is about to get outrageous. This will be these last 3 laps to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, this will be a natural green-white checkered, so this won't even count. If we get another yellow, we will still have 3 green-white checkers available to us. This will be a natural green-white checkered. As Parker Traves, Jackson Lewis now on the outside of Traves for the first time on a restart. Parker bringing him down nice and slow to the green flag. He is off and away, and he got a fantastic restart. That is what he wants to see going down into turn 1.
You know, there's that meme out there, Jeff, that says, got him. Well, that's exactly what Parker Traves just did. Is now Jackson Lewis to the outside of Cole Cabry. They're going to battle for the second position. Parker Traves out there by about 2 car lengths. Jackson Lewis does a really nice job getting into the corners. You can see that 7 every single time make up ground.
And here comes Cottle on the outside. He is trying to get alongside Cole Cabry as now Parker Traves sees the white flag. 1 to go. Jackson Lewis in second, but he's about 4 or 5 car lengths behind the 60.
Can Jackson Lewis make a run here? He's only got a straightaway left to do it. You see him get into the corner very hard. Lewis cannot get there.
Not going to be close enough, and off turn 4, Parker Traves is going to win the Islander in 125, go back-to-back wins in the late model shootout series.
Wow, Parker Traves on fire in the number 60 car. Jackson Lewis, what a run in the 7. He comes home P2. Cole Cabry's going to come home P3. Josh Cottle P4. Peyton Howell all the way up to the top 5 in the 52 machine. Thomas Axum 6th. Trevor Edwards 7th in his debut with the late model shootout series. Grayson Ward 8th. Alex McCollum 9th. And Caden Fisher picks up another top 10.
Kelsey Rogers going to come home 11th. Bo Ledbetter 12th. Jordan Harnish Josh Parrish, Brett Suggs, who started this thing down 4 laps at the start, comes home 15th. Corey Bigley, Chris Roma, Zach Onen, Aaron Amadroth, and Colby Bryant gets a top 20 at the end there.
Amazing racing. Rick Rube 21st, Craig Tully 22nd, Willie House 23rd, Dylan Bates 24th, Del Mears 25th, Eric Tracy 26th, Aaron Johnson 27th, Matthew Barkhouse 28th, Will Dravicki 29th, and AJ Rogers will round out the 30-car field. Parker Traves, wow, what an amazing run by the 60 car.
Yeah, and we're going to try to get an opportunity to talk to Parker here as soon as he can get to the ITZR broadcast booth. But just unbelievable. If you're familiar with the Sarah Super Series, he won there, and the open setup stuff comes into the fixed setup here, and gets another victory here at Lucas Oil Speedway. So I got to think he's got to really like this racetrack.
I would say yes, except Parker has been winning everywhere. What do you have to say about the 60 car at this point? He's the hottest guy in iRacing in the super late model.
Well, Parker is going to join us now, and he goes back to back in the Elite Performance Industries Late Model Shootout Series. And Parker, are you just feeling it right now, man? You're just on fire.
Yeah, we've just been a good few weeks lately. That sure seems like.
Listen to this guy downplay this stuff, Jeff. Parker Traves. It's been a good few weeks. I'm winning everything I get in, and I'm winning every single rate. Parker, back to back here in the Late Model Shootout Series. Did you think it was possible? You had a good qualifying effort, and you made the move for the lead.
No, I didn't think it was possible. Everyone's just so close, and I really don't like this track, but I was fortunate enough to win here in Sarah Super Series, and then now here, so two of the best super late model leagues on iRacing, so feels good.
On the planet, Parker.
That's right.
Well, Parker, I got to know now. You got 2 bonus points now going into the playoffs. It's got to give you a lot of confidence, right? With just 2 races to go in the playoffs, do you feel like now you're a championship contender?
You never know what can happen because like I said, everyone's so close. I'm just playing it week by week still.
He's downplaying everything. Do you hear this, Jeff? Just no confidence whatsoever
Absolutely.
out of the 60 car. Just complete humble. I love it. Parker, you've put it to him 2 weeks in a row. Moving forward, you say you don't think you're a contender, but looking at the rest of the schedule, you're a short track guy. We're hitting short tracks from now on. What do you think, man? Could you pile up some more wins in a row here?
I hope so. I love winning, so I'm gonna keep trying. That's for sure.
Well, Irwindale Inner coming up next, and anything can happen in Irwindale Inner. But how do you feel about that place going to just probably the tightest bullring racetrack we have on the schedule this season?
I feel good about it. Anytime we can go to a short flat track, that's my style of racing. So definitely that's gonna play into my favor. But you never know. Anything can happen. Guys can take each other out and get caught up in a mess. So just gotta qualify up front, and hopefully we're there at the end.
Absolutely. But Parker, I'll tell you what. I hope you don't qualify in the front row next week because I'm probably going to take the 60 car, Jeff. Just saying, in our picks. But Parker, we always give everybody a chance to thank, who gets them here. Go ahead and give a shout out to everybody that helps you out on the 60.
Just the team, 16XCI, all you guys for doing what you do for the league, all the league sponsors, Elite, Kent for building the badass setup again. Yeah, that's it.
Well, Parker, before we let you go, we know a lot of Tuesday night guys are watching, and I kind of want to ask about your restart strategy. The leader has the option of taking the outside. You took the lead on the outside. Why did you want to keep restarting on the inside line once you got the lead?
I felt like there was a lot of opportunity to get used up if I played on the outside. So if I went to the outside, I feel like if I just missed that start just a little bit, I could get used up and potentially lose the lead. So felt like it was the best bet just to stay down low and time my restarts good.
That's a great question, Jeff. Well, Parker, congratulations! 2 weeks in a row, man. Go celebrate with the team and enjoy it, man. You're the best in the league 2 weeks running.
Thank you, guys.
Well,
That's a great
Jackson,
that was a great question, Jeff, about the outside.
yeah,
I'm
I
really
mean,
glad you asked that.
yeah, and now we're going to be joined by our second place finisher, Jackson Lewis. Jackson, I mean, can you believe it? You came from the back tonight. You won the slow dash. You didn't have the qualifying effort you hoped for, but did you show a ton of speed tonight? Came up to second. Did you have anything for Parker at the end?
I mean, I think we had the speed to get to him. I don't think anybody was going to pass in the top 5 unless it was off a restart. That's kind of how it was all night. Really, a lot of the passes that I made today were just off of wrecks and restarts. But yeah, came from deep. Knew I was getting EOL anyways tonight, so I kind of didn't really try too much in qualifying. I thought we were going to skip the B main tonight, so I didn't bother. But yeah.
Well, Jackson, you said that a lot of the passes that you made were from wrecks and whatnot. The 7 was clean, man. You got through everything. Anything that might have happened in front of you, you didn't hit anything. Any advice to everyone, maybe the guys that are listening from Tuesday nights, what they can do to kind of try to avoid these incidents? Because you were masterful coming through the field.
Put on the old hood pins. They're not as shiny to look at. But yeah, no, that's about all. I mean, we had that one big wreck early on, and I mean, I saw that coming out of 2. It just, I don't know, everything just kind of happened. It was pretty self-cleaning racetrack today too, as well. A lot of the wrecks ended up in the inside wall, so you just kind of drove around them.
Well, I got to wonder, early on, we did see you making a lot of passes on the bottom side of the racetrack. Did it get tougher to make passes as the race went on? Did the high side become more dominant, or do you feel like it was dominant from the get-go?
Yeah, it seemed, I'm not sure. It seemed like it was better to pass on the bottom, but I'm not sure if just the right front finally just kind of gave away on everybody, and you couldn't keep it quite down. And a lot of guys were starting to, I think, pinch a little bit more. And if you got pinched below the seam, you're gonna either loop it or just wash up into the guy. So it was kind of give and take. But yeah, a lot of guys gave and take. I really like racing Josh. He was one of the most forgiving. Grayson was one of the least forgiving. I had to give him a couple left-hand door checks to get him off the wall, but other than that, it wasn't too bad.
Well, that's pretty good. Jackson, moving forward, man, next week we go to the Irwindale Inner Racetrack, flat quarter mile. Not a place we run very often. How do you feel about that racetrack?
I don't think I've ever ran there in a super late model.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think I have raced it in a street stock official and a couple things like that, but I'm sure it's going to be like a smaller Oxford. I would have to imagine a lot of turning, not a lot of throttle, and hug the bottom.
Well, Jackson, we're happy to have you back in the series. You missed last week due to some penalties, but you had a great run tonight. And going forward, does this just kind of give you some confidence that you're that close to winning a race here in the late model shootout series?
I mean, we've had some at Milwaukee. It seems like these big tracks, for whatever reason, I'm pretty decent at, and we had a pretty good run at Milwaukee. Just a restart kind of got us out of that. Just a one single lane track out on the outside, and then come to here and drive up through the field. It was pretty fun. We'll see if we can get any of that short track stuff, maybe a little bit better qualifying efforts and start up front and see what we can do from there. It's not as much fun, but it's a little less work doing it that way.
A little bit less work, but Jackson,
just
a little
touch.
bit. Yeah, let's come through the field. But Jackson, we like to give everybody an opportunity to thank their team and the people that get them to this point. It's difficult to drive these cars, and it takes a lot of people to learn them. So, who do you want to shout out tonight? The team that helps you get here.
Well, I finally got my real life paint scheme on nowadays, so I can actually thank my real life sponsors and my in-sim sponsors. First of all, I want to thank my real life sponsors, Oxborough Enterprises and Legends Direct. If anybody racing legend cars, go online and shop at Legends Direct. You can get any part and ship it to your door. And then I got to thank my in-sim sponsors, which is RKM's Motorsports. We do all their setup shop stuff, and they've really helped me out with just driver development in all reality, and that's what grew me into the super late model driver that I am today.
Well, Jackson, we want to thank you again for taking the time to talk with us. Congratulations, second place finish. You're getting that much closer to scoring your first late model shootout series win. I feel like it's coming. It's going to happen pretty soon.
Yeah, we'll see. I hope. Hopefully, I'll talk to you next week.
All right, Jackson. Hopefully, we'll see you next week.
Yeah, great job, Jackson.
Thank you.
Well, now joining us, our third place finisher and our points leader, Cole Cavery, going to join us. You were fast time tonight. You kind of moved up a row there with some problems with Brett Suggs, and you got up to the front early. You just couldn't quite get out front. What did you need to be able to get past those guys, leading Josh Cottle and Parker Traves?
I think I had my opportunity there once we got like midway through that race. I got up into second on the outside, but I could never get the timing of the start down, so I missed that opportunity. I think like 3 or 4 times. But this track's so hard to race on. If you get to the inside, the thing gets so tight. Coming off the corner, you can't really turn. So I think just it's all about restart games.
On one of those restarts, Cole, you drove it down into turn number 1 and put it on the apron. Was that a bit of a Hail Mary? Did you think that might work?
So in practice, me and Alex practiced something. If we had that situation happen, it was almost like a dirt car slider, but I was not anywhere near clearing that, so I had to back out, or that was going to be big. So, I mean, it was my only shot. I figured, that was one of the last times we were going to get a yellow, and it was going to go in my way. So, I had to try something, and I clipped the grass coming back up. So. I backed out, and we got to keep my name clear for the championship.
Well, speaking of the championship, you've been the most consistent guy in this series for about 2 seasons now. I can't even remember the last time you finished outside the top 5. How hard is it to just continually keep doing this, where you're running top 5 every single week with such a differing schedule?
Yeah, it gets frustrating after a little bit. You want to win so bad, but it's such a tough group of guys. It's always something, always a different top 5. It seems like most of the time. Sometimes you have Alex just dominating, and then like tonight, it's a whole different group to a certain point. So, I mean, like I said, I enjoy points racing, and I enjoy just keeping my name clear until we get to that final race. So. I mean, hopefully I can stay doing this until, Myrtle Beach.
You're definitely keeping that name clean, Cole. But let's talk about next week. Next week we head to one of the odder tracks on the schedule, the Irwindale Inner Speedway, flat quarter mile. We talked to Jackson Lewis about next week and how he feels about that racetrack. He's never been on it in a super late model. So how do you feel about going to Irwindale next week?
I personally I enjoy it a lot. It's something different. It kind of reminds me of Bowman Gray. You get a lot of tempers and yelling. So it's always fun. If you're not the one getting yelled at or the one getting wrecked, it's always fun. Just riding around, kind of watching everyone, bumpers get beat off. So I personally enjoy that track. Hopefully, I can play the invert game or something and have the invert go my way, so we can get out front and hopefully check out.
Well, Cole, we can't wait to see you at Irwindale. I feel like that's one of those racetracks. You're so good at just staying out of trouble and avoiding all this stuff. That's, as you said, that's one of those racetracks where that's going to be a skill that's going to come into play. I mean, you got to like your chances going into there, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like you said, I mean, if you have some, arguments going into that, or from this race going on to next week, it's not going to be pretty. That track has an open infield too, so you got to watch that left side window net, and just be ready for the unexpected, I guess.
Cole giving us a real a preview of what we might see next week, Jeff. This should be exciting. But Cole, we talk about it every week, man. We talk to you a lot. Obviously, you've been so consistently running up front, but a lot of stickers on the race car. Who would you like to shout out tonight?
Definitely. Well, first of all, you guys in the zone for putting this on. Wouldn't be possible without y'all. Elite, all the guys from there. LMR, Alex, Tom, all the boys back in the other Discord. We're gonna get ready for next week and see what we can do there.
Well, thank you for taking the time to talk with us. Congratulations. Another third place win. You just keep stacking up these top 5s. And I just checked. You have not finished outside the top 10 yet in 7 races this season in the series. Unbelievable run you're having, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, congratulations, Cole, and we'll see you again next week at Irwindale.
Thank you.
Well, Bill, that is going to wrap it up for us tonight. A fantastic race at Lucas Oil Raceway Park in Indianapolis. Just a ton of side-by-side racing, and both lanes worked really well tonight. In the end, track position became keen, and Parker Traves got out to the front early, and that's all it took.
Yeah, just a tough racetrack to pass at. Josh Cottle making, I will say, one little error, letting Parker Traves get to the outside on a restart, and Traves goes on to win the race, defending successfully against some hard-charging cars throughout that one. We put a lot of exciting restarts on that one, Jeff, and a lot of great racing throughout the middle of the field. But like you said, in the end, it was more of a track position battle, as nobody could get to Parker Traves and get around him. So he doubles up here in the late model shootout series, and we talked to every single driver up there, Jeff. I think next week it's going to be pretty exciting in Irwindale. And you said Colt Cavery just told us he's going to go practice for next week. I think that means they're going to go beat each other's bumpers off. I think that was what he said, as they're going to practice for Irwindale later.
Yeah, and if you liked what you saw tonight, we are not done yet, because tomorrow night we're going to do it all again with the County Road Custom Late Model Challengers Series. We're still looking for more drivers to come up to Monday night. The guys that showed up tonight, they impressed. They had good runs. Josh Parrish ran in the top 10, fell back on that final late restart, but he was on the top 10 all night, and that County Road Custom Late Model Challenger Series is showing there is a lot of talent down there in our development series that's just itching to get up here and run on Mondays.
Yeah, that is a great group of drivers down there, and it has gotten better all season long. But like you said, Josh Parrish did a great job. Chris Roma was fantastic. I don't know if you saw Chris Roma's car at the end, Jeff. Not a scratch on that thing. He just did a fantastic job coming home 17th. And not far behind him, Tully was back there as well in 22nd. So those guys did a great job. Tully was caught in a couple incidents, but really fun to watch Late Model Challenger Series guys from Tuesday night move up to the Monday Series and see how they can do. But you can see there's a bump. There's a bump in talent. Those guys do really, really well on Tuesday nights. They come up here, and it is a much, much tougher animal. But again, we had a couple guys missing, and we'll see how they do next week. I did talk to one of them, Jeff. I did hear from Caleb Hall. He said that he just missed the race tonight. He was out working in the shop and couldn't make it back in time for the race. So we'll see them next week. And again, next week, Irwindale. That's going to be pretty exciting. But tomorrow night, Jeff, we get to do this all over again.
Yeah, tomorrow night, another Islander in 125 from this track, Lucas Oil Raceway Park in Indianapolis, and it is going to be exciting. And then again, Monday night next week, the Canadian Legend Cars West 150. That is a race that Parker Traves has sponsored. He's won in that race in the past when it was at Oxford. He's going to go for 3 in a row. But as you have it, another Legends car supplier, Jackson Lewis, finished second. We're going to have a fun little rivalry next week, I think.
Absolutely. And don't forget, I think the last time we went to Irwindale Inter, a guy that hasn't been having a very good season this season here in the Late Model Shootout Series, but I believe the winner we had last time there was Dylan Bates. Dylan Bates knows how to do the flat short track thing, and he's going to be a guy to watch in that 91 car. He did not have a good night tonight, not quite the season that Bates was expecting, but he'll be a guy to watch next week at Irwindale.
Yeah, so you're not going to want to miss next week. That is going to be a ton of fun. Make sure you're following us on Facebook. Make sure you hit that like button before we go tonight. We appreciate everybody that hung out in the Facebook chat. We can't wait to see you tomorrow night for another Islander in 125. Thank you to all of our sponsors, Elite Performance Industries, Moonlight Speed Inc., and of course the International Short Track Association for their sponsorship of the Quick Time Award, Alex McCollum Racing for the Clean Driver Award as well. Make sure you're following on Facebook to see how those are going in the standings for the Moonlight Speed Hard Charger Award and the Clean Driver entries throughout the week. And we will see you tomorrow night live on Facebook, live on YouTube, live on Twitch at 9 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night.